Some of the things that are maybe hard to do on the job, there are typical days where, you know, I'm stuck in the office all day. And for me, I like to be outside. And so being inside, doing the paperwork, you know, that comes with the job, that's obviously something that everybody has to do. But, you know, if you get stuck in the office for a day or two doing all that paperwork, I get real antsy to get outside and I want to get out on patrol or just, you know, go out and do some of the things that I need to do around the park. So those are kind of days where, you know, for me, aren't the funnest times. And we certainly have a lot of times that are fun and great, and, you know, but those days, getting stuck in the office sometimes can be a little bit hard. My hardest day, I wouldn't say is a day, I would say probably a few days. Obviously, I've talked about deaths a little bit, and as a police officer and as a park ranger and law enforcement, that's something you will deal with. Eventually in your career, that's going to happen. And so those are probably the days that aren't my most favorite days. We've had a few in the years that I've been a ranger where we've had to deal with children or adults or someone who have passed away while they were out recreating. One of the days I can remember, we had an avalanche victim, and we had a dad and his son and two friends there that day, and avalanche came down the mountain. They were on snowmobiles, and the two friends and the son, they all got buried. The two friends were able to get out, but the son was not, and he ended up dying. And so the sad thing was that the father had to watch his son die, and then we had to go recover the body. And those kind of days are the days that aren't fun. And you do what you got to do. You put on a good face, you go out there and you deal with it. And fortunately, those aren't typical days. So as I've mentioned before, you will deal with death and those type of things, but you're not going to deal with that every day. So my hardest days are just the days where we've had to deal with that. And I can think back in my career, I've probably had to deal with about a dozen deaths. And, you know, in a 10-year career, that's not so bad. So, but that is a reality of the job, and that's something that will happen if you're a state park ranger, and some things that you just have to deal with. We are around water, so you're going to have drownings. We're around lakes. We're around, you know, people who recreate out in the desert and the mountains, and they're on four-wheelers, and, you know, people kind of just get crazy sometimes and don't think, and alcohol has a lot to do with some of the accidents that we get into. So that is, you know, people just are going to get hurt, and they're, you know, eventually sometimes they're going to pass away. So without going on too much more, that's just something that we have to deal with and something you'll have to do in your career.